Hello and welcome to my case study. My app is called Nouri. Nouri is a software based solution to food waste within a household. My mantra is easy, smart, and human, which is what I want the app to be about. My objective is to create a meal planning and inventory management app that helps users track what they have in their pantry, suggest recipes based on available ingredients, and alerts them to upcoming expiration dates to reduce food waste. I started My initial idea was to build an app that functions as an interactive combination between a calendar and a cookbook. And the app would register photos with additional details, suggest meals based on registered inventory, and provide warning when an item is nearing its expiration date. The project entirely took 8 to 12 weeks about, and the tools I use are mainly Miro, Figma, and FigJam. And to my design process, I started with the research. I started with an interview and surveys, then analyzed the information I got from that, created some user personas, um, built some wireframes, sketched out some design, and went into the user interface for my prototype. And of course, I ran it through an accessibility test to make sure that everyone can use the app and that the app is easily navigable. All right. So for my interviews, I created a poll on Instagram, which had about 10 open ended questions. I got about 5 to 10 users to fill out my interview prompt, to fill out the interview questions. One of the questions said, how do you manage preventing fresh produce from expiring in your home? Another question says, how often do you throw away expired produce? One said, what features would you want a product like Nori to have? I got quite a few answers. And I can read one of them to you here, which says, one user said, I do not log what produce we have in a house at any given time, so there's a high risk of forgetting certain things which end up expiring. This makes sense based on what we're trying to accomplish here. Another interviewee said, giving recommendations when to restock on low items. This was a very key insight, which I took into consideration. One said I used the eye and smell test, which is pretty common. I then went on to the surveys. I also made a poll for the surveys, and I got about 10 submissions. And I highlighted 5 common pain points from those submissions. Most people wanted to save money. Most of the survey participants preferred to cook and eat at home. Most people overbuy and struggle with tracking, and you can see the rest here. I broke down all of the information I got from the surveys, and you can see the breakdown here. And the question said, how often do you decide what to cook? 67% said based on what is available, which made sense to me. That's how I also decide what to cook. And you can see some of the other survey prompts that I've broken down here with some data. I then went and built an affinity diagram, which helped me sort of narrow down which features I would want on the app. The key features that would be necessary, sort of like one here is categories of food, so dairy and vegetables. When you're entering which which items you want in your inventory, features that would be fun to have. Um, Someone said they cook 3 to 4 times a week, so the recipe suggestion would be really good for that. Some features that would be good for a premium offer that the stakeholders would really cling on to. Recommendations on low stock items could be used for meal prep. Um, can be catered to specific diet plans, and then a social aspect here where maybe two users within the same household can kind of do like an inventory tracking kind of situation. I then went on to build two user personas, and my targeted audience was 25 to 45. Um, these are a little bit narrowed down. I have Mary Angel here, 27, consultant, lives in Washington, D.C. She's single. She eats out frequently but loves to cook. That's important to know. Rashina Watson, 32, social worker, lives in Maryland. She's in a serious relationship, so maybe her and her partner can share a food inventory. And I then build a task flow. You can see here um, kind of a more straightforward one. The login prompt: user logs in, is prompted with the login or sign up, chooses to log in, then logs in. User opens the app, prompted with the sign ups using Google, Facebook, or email, verifies, then is logged in. And here are some of the data I got from the task flow that I made. And here are some of the task flows that I made here: checking weekly savings, creating an account, adding an item, suggest recipe. I then went on to build the user journey. Here, highlighting how the app would be discovered, some needs and pain points, some touch points. Why would they invite others? I have an answer here. Mary has a roommate that she can share inventory, like we spoke about earlier. Being able to share it within a household, I started sorting out all my information using card sorting. You can see the different categories here that will go into the app. Some that overlap: grocery saving page, low stock alerts. I started drawing up my sketches. You can see menu, main page, profile, and built out the initial wireframe. As you can see here, the calendar, some icons here that represent what they will do within the page, and from there I built the interface, and I replaced quite a few things. Instead of sign up, I had get started, which is a friendlier verbiage, sort of like a clean interface highlighting my mantra. We have the calendar here that's color coded, and this was actually updated um, after I did my usability testing. And instead of having subcategories, I opted to have the entire screen on one page. As you can see here, it's a much cleaner outlook, and you can kind of go through the prototype here on Figma. And I have a video here that sort of highlights the walkthrough of the app with audio for those that might be impaired. And finally, my usability testing. I did another poll on Instagram, got about 10 individuals with some questions, kind of just had them run through the app, and just, with some guidance. And I really wanted to see how easy the app was, what are some pain points, what are some stuff that they liked about it, what they didn't like, and what are some stuff they thought that could be improved. And you can see here, like I said before, I color coded the list view and the calendar view. So when an item is near expiration, you'll see it on the calendar, because quite a few people told me they didn't understand the point of the calendar. And so I added that to it. I also added sort of a clickable subheadings here. So instead of just seeing the list view, you can click on the subheading, and the list will sort of like drop down. And that's basically it. Thank you.